Hi guys, hope you're all well. I just thought I would do a little chatty get ready with me. So I'm just getting ready to go to work. And for those of you that don't know, my job is as a cosmetic tattooist. So I don't actually wear a lot of makeup because I wear face masks for quite a lot of the day. And I do find it feels horrible. So, however, goal this year is to make a bit more effort day to day. So I've already prepped my skin. I've been up for a while, so I've got all my normal skincare routine, and I'm just going to pop a little bit of primer on, she says, and squirts out a ton. This one I've had for a little while. It's by the Doctor's Cosmeceutical, and it's really nice. It come in like a I think it's like a when you do like the I think it's like a glossy box type thing, and it's been really good. So I haven't ordered another one because I've enjoyed using it. So pop that on. My lighting's not great, I'm afraid, but hopefully you can see I've got a couple of little blemishes there, but nothing too bad. So primer on. So I ordered the other day, so I'd use NARS. My favourite foundation probably is this one. It's the NARS, I think it's the sheer one. Yeah, the sheer glow. This is lovely. But I like such minimal coverage, especially day to day. So I'm going to try one I picked up at the airport, which is the NYX Professional Bear With Me Blur Soft Beige. And I've only used it once, and I applied it with my fingers, which I quite like for foundation. So I'm going to do the same again because, as I said, I do want to keep it quite sheer. So literally just a little bit. Warm it up. I know a lot of people don't actually like using their fingers, but I actually think it's quite nice because you do warm that product up. Just blend that in. Do you know what? A little does go a long way. Sexy. That, oh, look at my bags. That's not bad. Let's just get a beauty blender. I actually haven't dampened. But it seems fine. Sorry, I'm just checking in my mirror to the side of me. That it's a good match. Good match. Right, done. Conceal. NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. This is the light. I tend to use a light in the areas that I need brightening or highlighting. Look how, honestly, I'm feeling my age. I am feeling it. Let's do that. Should we do that with a brush? Let's go in with a brush. This concealer, if you've not used it, is really, really nice because it gives really good coverage, but it's not like too thick and cakey. And obviously now the eyes are getting older. You don't want anything that's going to enhance the crepiness of them. So just really, really light pressure when I'm doing that. A little bit of stippling and patting. And then again, you can see my pressure is so soft. I'm barely touching. One thing I found years ago when I used to do makeup, when it came to blending, was that I actually blended with too much pressure. I would like push the brush onto my skin, and you just really don't need to. Oh, this light is shocking. I need to get a new light, don't I? There we go. Oh, she looks rough. She looks rough. Okay, let's set. I'm going to use, let's use the e.l.f. Cosmetics. Not baking or anything. I don't tend to do that anyway, because I'm not a big, overly heavy contourer anyway. Nose. I try and set the nose a bit more because wearing masks. So I mainly set in the areas that I'm going to be touching more, and also in the areas that I find are more oily, which is here for sure, and then eyes. Okay, so that's that set. Then we're just gonna literally bronze. I'm not gonna do, or do we blush first? Let's do some blush. Actually, let's use this one because I used this the other day and it was really, really nice. It's the Danessa, I think that's it. So Danessa Myrix, and it is the Rose and Blush. It is really nice, and a little bit seemed to go quite a long way. Again, using my fingers to start. As I say, it's quite if you're not one for using your fingers, give it a go, because it does help warm the product up. That said, I can't talk this morning. That said, I have got freezing cold hands 99% of the time. I've got Raynaud's, so in the winter especially, I feel it. But can you see, that's literally, I've only done a little bit because again, I just want this to be really, really natural, but it's blending really well. I typically tend to sculpt my blush, so more upwards like this. So I kind of go from the cheekbone here, not right on the apples of my cheeks. So sort of like the start of the cheekbone is in like the bit for me that feels more prominent, and work it up, and then the excess I just dab onto the cheek there. So that's that. And then let's set that with, I want a pink. What should we go with? Let's do V, and I think this is Sorbet. I really like these blushes. A little of this goes a long way. It's really pigmented. And then a tiny little bit of the excess on the nose. There we go. I'm going to sort this lighting out because I feel like you can't really see much at all. And then bronze, let's do, I've got the Physicians Formula, Benefit or Urban Decay. Let's do Urban Decay. I'm really liking this one at the moment, so why change it? So when I'm not doing contouring, I still kind of sculpt. So I'd sort of come there, just on that lower part of my cheekbone, just follow it. Do a little bit at the side of my nose. A little bit on my forehead. I've got a tiny forehead, so I don't really need to do much. It's more about getting colour, and I typically always just do a little bit down the neck, and then excess I just dust over. I think it literally is a case of whatever works for you, you do. Obviously there's certain you know, things that work when it comes to sculpting and contouring, or certain things that you should do avoid and stuff. You know, for example, when I sculpt or contour, I'll always just come on my cheekbone here, so sort of like you almost can naturally see a shadow anyway. I go there, but I'll tend to like work the product sort of across and more upwards, not down, because if you pull it down, I find it can make you actually look too hollow here. But if you're wanting to look more hollow there, then obviously that can work really well for you. Right, let's set. And I'm just going to use the Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Airbrush Flawless Filter Setting Spray. It's just the little mini one from Traveling. That smells so good. I'm so tired, look at me. I feel haggard. I feel like shit. Honestly, I feel so old. I'm like 41 next month. Not next month, the month after March. And I'm so aware of it. So aware of it. It's savage. Highlight. Should we do a liquid one, or no? I don't want liquid today. Not feeling it. Let's do. So I'm gonna do this one. This one is, it's probably out of date. It's probably expired, to be honest. It's Makeup Academy, so it's like cheapest chips from Superdrug or something, and it's their Prism highlighter. It's one of my favourites because I've probably said before, it's really finely milled, so you don't get like, you just get a subtle glow, not like actual like proper shimmer, or like you get more of a shimmer, not sparkle. You don't see like big grains of the highlight, but it's really natural, very nice. I always like to put a little bit in there when I'm feeling like I look today, when I'm really tired and haggard, because I do feel like it just helps brighten and open up your eyes. I feel like I've got something in my eye. Ugh. She is looking old. Okay, let's do brows next. So I've been using the NYX Cosmetics. This is just the little brow glue. You can get coloured ones of these, but I've just been using the clear ones. So I just sort of almost like pinch the bottom a little bit so it squidges onto the applicator. And then what I find works for me, I'm just going to grab a mirror, is I just kind of get some of that product through the brows before I really do any major shaping or sculpting or anything. And I find it sort of starts to tack off a little bit then as well. And then I literally just sort of sweep them in the position that I'm wanting them. I feel like I've got a bit of unevenness going on with my brows at the minute. It's really irritating me. And look at that. Oh, I don't know if you can see it, but I've got a white hair. I only tinted them about 2 weeks ago. It's not even lasting. You can, if you want as well with this, I find you can just sort of like just gently pat it, and it helps if you've got any like slightly rogue ones. It just helps pop them into place. Am I going to shade my brows today with some pencil? I don't feel like I need it, to be honest. I'm quite happy with the natural coverage that I've got. I did a little top up with my permanent makeup just in the fronts a little bit. It probably will need another go, but for now I am happy with how they are, because I don't want them too heavy in the front anyway. Right, eyes. What should we do today with our eyes so that we look awake but somewhat natural? Let's go in with, let's do MAC. I haven't used this palette for a moment. This is the In the Buff, the times 15 palette. It's actually got some really nice tones in there as well, some nice colours. But it's got quite a 90s vibe to it, but it's nice. It's sort of like quite cool, quite neutral. There's some warm in there as well. So I've already put product. I'll put a bit of the sort of like the leftover concealer that was on my brush. I'll just sweep that over my eyelids anyway, so I will just work with that because I'd also set with setting powder. So we will just go in with a nice big soft brush. I think this is a Morphe one. Yep, Morphe MB23. I use this loads. It's really nice for diffusing product. And then I think I'm going to go with this shade here. It doesn't tell me what it is, but that's the one we're going with as a nice soft base. So just get a little bit of product on, and then all I will do is sort of sit just sort of where this is a bigger brush. I'm sort of sat half on my lid, half on my crease, and then that will just sort of buff and blend that out. Then really light pressure, holding the brush pretty low down, because I find the lower down you use it, the lighter your pressure naturally will be. So back and forth like little gentle windscreen wiper motions, and then I'll just do circles just to diffuse and spread that out so it can be a nice transition shade. It might even just end up being my shade, the only shade I wear, we shall see. Nice. Same on this side, back and forth, and then some circles. And again, it's super light pressure. I'm trying to get a little bit more. And it's literally, I just find if I just tickle my skin, I just get so much more movement with my product application. And that extra bit I've just put on, I'm kind of focusing that a little bit higher on my eyelids. So you can see I've got the brush sort of there. And it's that part here that's sort of touching. Like so. I actually haven't got too crazy a day today. I always find January's a little bit quieter. Well, I say that just before Christmas was quieter for me with work, and then that does tend to be the case. So I think a lot of people don't want their permanent makeup healing because they do go a bit flaky. Say, for example, the brows or the lips, it can go a bit flaky a couple of weeks or like sort of a week to 2 weeks into the healing process. And I do find naturally people don't necessarily want flaky eyebrows at the Christmas table. So it goes one way or the other. I was a little bit quieter the week before Christmas, but that was actually really nice. I did enjoy that because I've had a brilliant year this year, well, still this year in terms of the business year, but last year calendar wise, which was amazing. It's been really, really good fun. So it was actually nice to have that time, but I do like being busy, so I always get a little bit twitchy. But it's been fun because it's allowed me a bit more time to create content, and that is one of my things. I want time for hobbies and for myself to do things, so it did allow me a little bit more extra time for that, which I'm glad for. But I do have a shorter day today. I think I'm in for about 5 hours, which isn't too bad. So I'm just going to go in with another shade now, I think. Or am I? Yeah. Let's go in. Do I want something warm? So I'm toying between, what do we reckon? This one, which is quite warm. It's not picking up as warm on the camera as it is. Or maybe this, like a bit of a burgundy sort of colour. All that. Oh no, that one. Yeah, let's go that. I just wanted to test how pigmented it was. Sorry, I'm probably mumbling as well. I forgot to put my little microphone on. And then this, I'm just going to sit a little lower down. But I always go slightly over as well, over my natural crease, because I've got hooded eyes. I've always had them, even as a child, but obviously getting older, that naturally is getting more and more. So just concentrating more on the outer sort of third. And just sort of buffing and blending and leaving a little bit of lightness on the eyelid. And same on this side. I'm really tired at the minute, so I was poorly last week. I had a cold. I think I caught it on the plane. Well, Stuart was poorly when we were visiting our friends in Canada anyway, over New Year, but I don't know if well, I'll probably call it from him actually, but it could be the plane as well, who knows. Obviously it's like a breeding ground, isn't it? I'm just going to go back in with that first shade now and just diffuse that a little bit, just to soften it up. But yeah, I'd been poorly, so I've not been sleeping well. Well, when I'm finally getting to sleep, I'm sleeping good. I'm just taking any excess off on there, by the way. When I'm getting to sleep, I'm sleeping quite good for me, like as in quite deep. But it's almost like I'm falling asleep too late, and then that is making me feel like I'm getting woken up at 3 in the morning, way before I should be getting up. So that's a bit annoying. So I feel hungover. But do you know what it is as well? I've got ADHD. I've always suspected it, and I had like a private diagnosis last year. More just out of curiosity. Obviously, it doesn't, for me anyway, it doesn't change anything, but it does sort of make me feel like, oh, I make sense now. Like, totally makes sense. My brain makes sense. But the worst thing with me is I do actually think that is a huge contributing factor to my insomnia. I'm just going in with that last darker shade just on the underside of my eyes. I do think that's a huge factor in my insomnia because I've struggled with it for so many years, insomnia. And people say, just stop thinking, switch off. And I'm like, that's never going to happen. Like, how on earth do you stop thinking? Like, my brain goes from 0 to 100 in a fraction of a second. You know, someone can say one thing to me, they can mention one word, and I'm like 20 like things ahead of it. So like you could mention, I don't know, the beach, and then I'll think of the beach, then I'll think of sand, and then I'll think of something that's linked to sand, and then there'll be something that's linked to that. Or, you know, you could say beach, and then I'll think of SPF, and then I'll think, oh, face cream, oh, cream on a cake, oh, creamy cakes, that's nice. Or, oh, what about cream in this and that? Like, that's a really bad example, but it's that sort of thing. Like, I just go from one thing onto the next, onto the next. There was something on was it on Instagram, I think I saw, and it's so true. It's probably knocking about on social media anyway, but it says people with ADHD when they're trying to focus. So I've got combined ADHD. Maybe I'll chat about this if anyone's interested. But I've got combined ADHD, so I've got the hyper focus, and then I've got the inactive as well, where you get like really easily distracted and you can't focus. But then on one hand, I'll hyper focus. So for me, it's as much a blessing as a curse, because I'm really driven, really motivated. I have to do things. I've always got ideas. It's served me really well in my professional career and in business. But on the flip side, I'm so easily distracted. So it says on this thing that I saw, and it said, this person's like, right, I must focus today. Oh, focus, Ford Focus. Oh, in 1997, I got hit by a Ford Focus. It's a green Ford Focus. Oh, green. It was something to that effect. And it is such a good description of how I think a lot of people with ADHD are, or how your brain works. And that is how my brain is. I'm like that to that to that to that to that. And I think people will be like, how did you get there? And I'm like, oh my God, it makes so much sense. So much sense. But maybe it doesn't. Anyhow, anywho, that's eyes done in terms of eyeshadow. So literally just that, kept the lids a little bit lighter, and then we are going to, do I want any eyeliner? No, I don't. I'm keeping it simple. Mascara. Let's do Elf. I really like this Elf. I do love this NARS Climax one. The only thing I find is the brush, because my lashes are quite long, I do find to get from the root to the tip, I sort of smudge it a little bit onto my lids. So now watch me do it with this one, but I do prefer these sort of applicators. Oh, so let's just get some product. But I kind of like these ones where they're a bit more rounded. Oh, and would you look at that? Fuck me. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't swear, but hey ho. Yeah, so my brain is keeping me up, and I just think I feel a bit tired where I was poorly. It actually passed really quick. It was just like a cold. It passed quick, but I just feel like the side effects are really lingering, and Stu's the same. But I'll take that all day long over being like the main sort of part of my cold, I'd say only lasted about 3 days, whereas normally it's like about 7 to 10 days. So I can't grumble at that. I'd rather this, but yeah, I do feel proper tired. So you can see, well, I don't know if you can, that's like literally one coat. So that, to that. It's good, isn't it? It's £6. And I got this because it's basically, it's like a dupe of the Roller Lash by Benefit. But I've been really enjoying it. I find it dries out a bit quicker for me, or that's what I've noticed, than the Benefit one. But I think I'm about 2 months into it, maybe 2-3 months. Obviously I do dip between this and my NARS one, but for £6, I literally, you can't grumble, cannot grumble. I'd buy it again, like, and actually like buy it because I like it, not just because it was £6. If it was a higher price point, I would still pay it. I think it's really good. So, and I like the wand, and it was just because they didn't have my, at the time, Benefit Roller Lash in stock, and it just sort of threw this up as a suggestion. And I was like, well, let's give it a go. Okay. That white eyebrow, if you can see that, it is mental. But I don't want to pluck it because we don't be getting rid of eyebrow hairs. They're valuable. Excuse me snuffling. Not bad, huh? Right, lips. Again, I want to do something natural. Oh, this is nice, actually. That's the Vive one. Or do we do MAC? Where's my MAC? Spicy. She's spicy. Let's do that. Oh. If you're still watching this, thank you, because I am not exactly full of life, am I? Don't want to wipe my lips first. Just grab what you got to hand. Bit of micellar water. Oh, got a bit left on my lip. My lips are quite dry at the minute, actually. Oh. You can see there, it's a bit dry. Don't know if I want this colour now. It's a bit, I mean, it goes. It's a bit warmer than I was going for, but that'll do. It is a nice colour. I've used this loads, actually, this spice. I've gone through one before. Just diffusing that a little bit because I don't want it like a solid lip colour or anything like that. And then, do you know what? I might actually just do a Vaseline or balm because they are dry. Let's do. I've actually got this really nice shea butter. I'm just going to put some of that on it, so I'm really mumbling. Some shea butter. And I've got this little Vaseline that I bought when I was in Vegas. It's like a little lip one, and it's like, you know, like the rose tinted one, but it just seems a bit nicer than others that I've had before. So I'll be applying that throughout the day. My lips are inhaling that. It's better. Right, bear with me and I will be back. Okay, so we are back, dressed and ready for work. So I don't tend to wear scrubs. I do tattooing, as I say. I do some aesthetics as well, but predominantly I do tattooing. And I just like to feel comfortable. I think it's creative, so I like to dress how I feel. But this, by the way, is like a, oh, it's Lush. I don't know if you can be able to see it because I haven't got enough room. Hang about. So this, it's like a, if I stand up, it's a jacket / shirt, which can be like unbuttoned the whole way down. It's got pockets. How good is this? So this is from my friends. It's vintage. My friend in Canada, Brit, she is in Hamilton, Ontario, and she has got her own vintage clothing business. So she does like curated vintage stuff. So she's got such a good eye for it. I love vintage shopping, but for me, I love like charity shopping, thrift shopping, depending where you're watching this from. I love it. So does Brit, but she's got such a good eye for it, and I just find the stuff out there, when I lived there, it was so much better. There was so much more stuff available, I felt, than what there was here. This was from my friend Brit's collection. She does curated vintage thrifting. She sells stuff. She does shopping services for people. So if you're someone that loves vintage fashion, but you don't love doing the actual going out and looking for it, because you have to have a really good eye for it, and you have to be ready to obviously look through the rails and have a good eye for spotting what is actually vintage and stuff, which I love doing that. Brit is brilliant at it, and this is one of her items that she had that I got when I was out there. I am obsessed. It is so nice, well a bit of me, and it feels cozy. I can button it right up. Well, I feel like I look a bit like a nun like that, but I can button it up higher. I've got it done quite low. I can do a couple more buttons if I want to. It's really versatile. It's so nice, and I'm well chuffed that it is mine. So hey ho. But this is me done, ready for work. Still feel rough, but I think I look a bit better, a bit more presentable. If you're still watching and you got to this point, thanks for watching me chat shit and do my makeup. Have a good day. Bye.